What in the... What's going on? It's the Empire. Kafka, he... What do you think you're doing? Fire! 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 Bring me the girl now! I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, then enjoy the barbecue. Get her ready. Yes, sire. Had a change of heart. It seems I have no choice. Or perhaps I do. Oh my! The brave and noble king abandons his people to save his own skin. How utterly delightful! Jump! Alright, sink her into the sand. Yahoo! Huh? Figaro dive mode engaged. Witness the glory of Figaro. Go! Kill them! And they've caught up with us. Here we go. The Magitech armor. Back attack. Oh, metal kick on Edgar there. Edgar has joined us in battle. We're shooting the Magitech laser here. Let's go ahead and use an item here to heal our buddy. We don't want to take too much damage. Let's use Terra to use fire there. No, Terra! Let's bring her back up. We gotta get her up. We gotta get her up. We're gonna use Edgar's turn to potentially... No, they're gonna take her down again? Oh, they know that she's powerful. Let's use a high potion to bring her back to health. This is not good. Let's use magic to heal everyone up. There we go. Well, what is the matter, Edgar? What made you jump like that all of a sudden? Did you see what I just saw? You did, right? Right? Yeah, this kid's really something, huh? Really something? That was magic! Magic! Magic? She used magic? I don't know, I thought they were firecrackers or something. Just follow my lead. Terra! Your name was Terra, right? What? What exactly was that just now? I'm sorry, No, we're the ones who should be apologizing. I didn't mean to make such a big deal out of it. Nor did I. It just surprised me. I mean, I've never actually seen magic before. Where did you... It doesn't matter, does it, Edgar? Terra can use magic and we can't. That's all there is to it. The fact is, her magic could really help us right now. Thank you, Locke. Thank you, Edgar. Alright, stop swooning, boys. We got a battle to win. Locke, let's go ahead and have you heal up Terra again. I'm kind of scared of that. Oh, never mind. We did it! Yay! Whew, that was actually a fairly hard-won battle. There went all of our Phoenix Downs. Bravo, Figaro! Son of a sandworm, you'll pay for this! That was great. Were those bad people? I'm scared. Terra, there's someone we'd like you to meet. Like I told you before, we're members of the Returners. Would you be willing to meet our leader? Magic is going to be the key to winning this war. Magic. That Esper reacted to your magical powers. There's got to be a relationship. I don't know any more than you do. These powers just come naturally to me. But no human is born with powers like you have. Forgive me. What should I do? The Empire will be coming after us. They want your powers for their own. And if they get them, the world is done for. Terra, you want to understand your own powers, don't you? Then I think you should meet with Bannon. He may be able to help you find out more about why you have them. Please, Edgar's right. There's a cave just south of here that leads to South Figaro. Let's head in that direction. Hello there, friends, and welcome back to more Final Fantasy VI. Last time, we made it out of Narsh and landed here in, well, what was Figaro before it dove into the ground, and we met with King Edgar here, who has now helped us escape his own kingdom in an attempt to flee from Kefka, the court mage of the Empire. Boy, that was a lot to go over. And he definitely did not let us escape without a fight, but here we are riding around on a chocobo. And if we go south, we reach this cave. I'm not gonna dawdle too much. We have a mission here. If you want to, you can technically go back to Narsh and heal up with that free heal point, but I don't think I'm gonna need that. I think I'll be pretty okay. We do have access to the sleeping bags if we really need them. Now, one thing before I continue into this cave, I want to go ahead and look at Edgar's stuff, as he's a completely new character that we're just now getting to talk about. So, first up, he uses mithril swords, but he also uses spears. We took that mithril spear from Mog in the first episode, and this is exactly why I did it, to give it to Edgar, to increase his attack power by quite a bit. Now, also, Edgar has a unique gimmick. Similar to Locke, who has the ability to steal, Edgar also has a unique quirk in the form of tools. We bought the Bio Blaster in the previous episode, and that is one of Edgar's tools. He has the Auto Crossbow and Bio Blaster. We got to see a little bit of the Auto Crossbow in the Magitech armor fight we just had, but this is his main gimmick. Very powerful tools that are based off of certain stats. Now, let's go ahead and head into this cave. King Edgar, where are you headed, sire? Through the cave, and eastward to South Figaro. We'll then make for the Returner headquarters in the north. Return to the castle and pass the word along. Understood, sire. Take care. What castle? There's no castle to return to. It's underground. You know what? He's not our problem anymore. South Figaro Cave. Recovery Spring. So, this is a reason why I didn't want to use the sleeping bag, is because you can just fully heal in here. Oh, well, look at you, nice little turtle. Can't interact with it, unfortunately, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and head inside. Now that we're also kind of in our first major dungeon in the form of this cave, I want to go ahead and talk about something regarding random encounters, as this game obviously sports them. In terms of Final Fantasy VI early game, I would honestly recommend you don't fight too many battles. Or if you do, at least turn off EXP, as I would highly recommend you minimize the amount of levels that you gain for the early portions of the game. This is mostly for a reason that we won't see for a little while, but I've been turning off encounters every now and then, but I'm going to turn them back on so we can get the bestiary enemies in here. But I'm going to be trying to minimize encounters as much as I can for these early portions of the game. So we've got these Uroks here. We can't really steal anything from basic enemies, at least nothing too interesting. So we're basically just going to set up an auto battle here and try to take them down. There we go. That should kill at least a few of them. There's the auto crossbow. Auto crossbow is based on Edgar's strength stat. And so if you want to have a higher damaging auto crossbow, boost his strength stats so it does more damage. Bioblaster is basically a similar thing, but for magic. I guess real quick, while we're talking about EXP, let's go ahead and go over one more thing here in the configuration menu. And that is going to be the boost segment. This allows you to change various things about combat. You can turn them on and off, you can increase or even decrease the amount of EXP you gain in combat, gil, which is again the money, or magic AP, which we haven't really run into just yet. I would suggest not messing around with this or even just lowering it for early portions of the game. Gil, I don't really care how much you increase it or decrease it by. I'm going to be trying to minimize the amount of gil I obtain in terms of increasing the multiplier. I'll be keeping at 1 times for most of the series. There might be times where I change it if I'm really low on funds and don't want to grind. But those features are mostly there for that reason, if you don't want to grind. We've got a new enemy, the Foper. Let's go ahead and use the Bioblaster here. And see what that does. I like how Edgar puts on the safety gear, of course, safety first. The Bioblaster also has the unique property of applying poison to every enemy, or at least having the chance to. As we can see there, we got that little 7 tick of damage there. That's from the Bioblaster. Terra has the unique trait of being able to learn spells on level up, which is definitely something quite nice. Poisona allows you to cure the poison status ailment, which is quite useful, though we won't be running into that anytime soon. But it's obviously nice to have regardless. This isn't a very long dungeon, but it's a short and sweet one that allows you to get acquainted with Edgar quite nice. There are a few enemies up here, though, that I want to go ahead and talk about. The Belmadar is one of them, with the auto crossbow. See if we can steal anything interesting from him. I doubt it, but might as well. Couldn't steal. Well, Final Fantasy thieves have the tendency of just being really crappy thieves. Which, you know, that's kind of their profession, and it's very depressing, but they're very bad at their job. Alright, well, we killed them before we could steal. That's okay. There is one more thing I want to look at, though, before we go to South Figaro, and that is this building right here. Actually, upon second thought, I'm going to leave that for a later episode. Instead, I actually want to go ahead and take this time to talk about Edgar himself. Yes, 2 episodes in a row, we're going to be talking about character bios. And today is Edgar's, so let's go ahead and go into it. The King of Figaro himself, Edgar, is a man who is just as dangerous on the battlefield as he is innovative, boasting a variety of ways to control combat and turn the tides in his favor. But before we look at any of that, let's first go over his base stats. Edgar's stats are fairly well rounded across the board, with the only major standouts being his defense and stamina. This naturally makes Edgar decently bulky, allowing him to take more hits than the average character. However, this balance in stats isn't to say that Edgar is weak by any means. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Due to the vast amount of options available to Edgar through his gear and tools, he can fit into either being a powerful physical attacker, magic attacker, or even a support character that does everything he can to hinder the enemy in their tracks or aid his allies with buffs. Edgar is a character who can wear heavy armor, which further increases his bulk, but he's also one of the few spear specialists, making him an excellent pick for a jump attack user in the later portions of the game. He is also capable of using some of the most powerful swords in the game, giving him more variety in how you build him, if you don't want to rely too much on his tools. But before we talk about his tools, I first want to give my Magicite and Relic recommendations out of the way. Due to the different ways you can build Edgar throughout the game, you really can't go wrong with any Magicite bonus, since Edgar can at least get some mileage out of any of them. But if I were to point you in a specific direction, and also the direction I'll be taking Edgar in this playthrough, I would suggest leaning a bit more on strength bonuses, with a little bit of magic sprinkled in to keep things somewhat balanced. As for gear, Edgar can take advantage of pretty much everything and put it to good use, but I'll give a few highlights. For one are the Dragoon Boots and Horn, which when equipped, turn the user into a jump attacker, which Edgar can very easily specialize in if you feel like his damage is lacking at any point. Edgar can also find uses out of relics like the Zephyr's Cloak, making him nigh untouchable, capable of playing as the team's anchor, salvaging fights that might have gone wrong. The last one I want to recommend is the Hermes Sandals. Giving Edgar a decent speed boost in combat will really help him keep fights under control with his tools without needing to apply a speed buff beforehand. Now we can finally talk about Edgar's tools. Tools are Edgar's main source of damage and utility for most of the game, and require no resource to use them, meaning that as soon as you get your hands on a tool, they are yours forever and you can use them however much you want. Probably the most important thing I want to mention about tools is that every single tool works as intended regardless of what row Edgar is on, meaning you should almost never, in any circumstance, put Edgar in the front row. That's just unnecessary damage being taken. While I don't want to go over every single tool and their use here, as we'll have plenty of time to get acclimated with them later down the road, I do want to note a few key things about them. 1. This is the first instance so far of a character who can't naturally use magic being able to deal magic damage, as Edgar's Bioblaster and later Flash are capable of dealing magical damage to enemies. Also, most tools at Edgar's disposal scale off of his strength and magic stats, meaning that by growing either of those by leveling up is the main way you'll be increasing Edgar's tool damage. This also means that the damage of Edgar's tools might also reach a point where they aren't as reliable anymore, so be sure to have some kind of backup plan in mind for him if tools begin to lag behind in damage. Overall, Edgar is a versatile character that can play many roles in combat, while having one of the most reliable gimmicks in the game. And there we go, we know Edgar just a little bit better. He's going to be a character that I use quite often throughout this series, and he's a personal favorite of mine. But I think that is a pretty decent stopping point for today. So, next time on Final Fantasy VI, we'll be heading into South Figaro, right here, and seeing what it holds. So, with that said, I'll see you soon.